As for the rugby league team, well, they were embarking on a special era, due in no small measure to three remarkable players. Jim Brough was one of Leeds Rugby League's all-time greats. He played over 400 matches for the club and was capped for Great Britain. This was one of the first test matches against Australia shown on the newsreels. Rugby League was gaining a powerful following. Joe Thompson led the forwards in style as Leeds started the decade with their third Challenge Cup success in 1932. It was at Wigan, and the only known copy of the game now belongs to Eric Harris, the other member of the triumvirate. The coverage, to say the least, was sketchy, but the final will always be remembered for Eric's try. Leeds won 11 points to 8. Now, nearly 60 years later, the Toowoomba Ghost, as he was affectionately known, sent this message from Australia about Leeds, the club he still loves.
Well, I'd say good luck to them in the next 100 years, and I hope they progress as much then as they have done in the past. I look forward sometime. I may see them again, you know. I might get over to Leeds, and I hope then that those people whom I've known will come and see me or make contact.
In rugby league, Leeds were on the verge of one of the best periods in their 100 years of history. Two men stood out. Lewis Jones was captured from Welsh Rugby Union and Arthur Clews came over from Australia. The club say they are still waiting for him to go back. These two were players of the highest quality. Jones was the classic back, Clews inspirational as a forward. 1957, Leeds were at Wembley again, facing Barrow.
Passing to Pryor, Pryor to Pat Quinn, and Quinn crashes through to score. Leeds 3, Barrow 0. And in the second half, Leeds press home their advantage. Young Delmos Hodgkinson escapes fullback Joe Ball. And that's 6-0. McClellan recovers and back heels to Street, who flings a pass to Don Robinson. Lewthwaite tries to stop him, but he struggles on to make it 9-2.
Lewis, you must have some rather happy memories of this place, because this was your home for a long time, wasn't it, anyway?
For a long time, yeah, for 12 years, I believe, Harry, and went to Australia after that 12 years. But I came up in 1952, and we had a good side all throughout the 12 years that I was here. The playing area is absolutely perfect, isn't it? It's so lush, and it was never like this when I played.
We talk about great personalities in the side. Arthur Clews, of course, was a tremendous player, wasn't he?
I believe Arthur would probably be the best player I ever saw. And he had speed, he had everything. He had a sidestep, and of course, if things got a bit rough, you could always rely on Arthur to sort it out.
Well, I think that's very nice of Lewis to say that, because not a mutual admiration society, Harry, but I do feel that Lewis Jones was probably the greatest footballer I've ever seen and played with in all the years I've been connected with the game.
How good a team was that? Because it never quite fulfilled its rich potential, did it?
That'd be fair comment. I was captain when Lewis signed on, and Lewis made a tremendous difference, but the full value of the team never came till about 5 years after, you know, about 1957 when they won the Cup. And there was always a nucleus of a good side, but we never quite probably made it at the time. But at that time when Lewis signed on for £6,000, that was a record fee in those days.
There are other great players I played with, players like Ken Thornett, who was probably the greatest fullback I ever saw. And one of the locals, of course, was Jeff Stevenson, the best halfback I ever saw. And we had some great players, we had some great teams, but we never hit the headlines, really. I think only on 2 occasions did we ever win anything. I played at Wembley in 1957, which was a great moment. But probably the highlight of my career was the win the league championship at Oddsall in 61. And remarkably, Leeds in their very long history hadn't won this thing at all. And I happened to be captain that day, so that was the highlight of my career, really.
Looking at the ground now, does it bring back still nostalgic moments for you?
Oh yes, many happy moments, and all the decent players that we played against with Wigan and Warrington and the Bevans and the all the great players of the past, you know. It brings back a lot of nostalgic memories.
And obviously you still think it's one of the greatest clubs you've ever played with and one of the greatest clubs in the world?
Probably the greatest rugby league club in the world is Leeds, actually.
In 1948, we go to the other side of the ground over there, which of course is rugby league, which is my second love. And I was introduced to rugby league by a superman who I love and adore, and we've been pals 40 odd years now, of course, and that was Arthur Clues. And he introduced me to rugby league. There was him and people like Burke Cook and a fellow called McMasters, and who also became a wrestler. And then later life, of course, people like Jeff Stevenson, and then on to people like Shoe Bottom and Seabone and the lad called Haig and Batten and all these. And so I became very interested in rugby league, which I still am.
One man Freddie didn't mention was, of course, Lewis Jones. Now here's some rare footage of Lewis in action and his famous hitch kick against Australia in 1954. The 1960s, and I'm sure it's true to say that television brought sport into everyone's lives and put Headingley even more on the map. It also brought remarkable success for Leeds Rugby League Club. Each time they'd reached the championship final, they'd lost in previous occasions, but not in 1961. But before the final, Leeds faced St Helens in the semis. Murphy, Vollenhoven, Corellius were trying to lead Saints to a league and cup double. We joined the match at 5 points to 2 to Leeds.
31 minutes gone, Leeds 5, St Helens 2, and a lot of little fancy passing. Oh, this is a chance. But Rosenberg's got it on the bounce. He got Hallis inside. He's dumbing. He's trying to go on his own. He gets it inside. Hattie could score, and Hattie has scored. Hattie has scored. He dribbled beautifully like a soccer player, did Hattie. An inside pass from Rosenberg. Hallis missed out. Hattie was on the job, and this almost a reserve team player, Hattie, scores the second try for Leeds to give them a lead of 8 points to 2 after 31 minutes play. Well, Leeds, who have never won the Rugby League Championship, are off to a flying start. They're at front 8 points to 2 at the moment, and Jones has missed what should have been a goal for Leeds. 8 points to 2, 32 minutes gone. The safe arms of Ken Thornett, not quite the safe feet, but he'll have a go. He gets the pass nicely to Hallis. Hallis, I would have thought, should have given it to Rosenberg. Rosenberg at 10 yards, a chance to start running. And Rosenberg's knocked on. Oh, and Rosenberg's failed to go, and away goes Sullivan! But Thornett just gets him. Rosenberg failed to make the ball dead by falling on it, and Sullivan almost streaked into the corner. You can't give those chances to Mick Sullivan. A great tackle by Thornett saved it. And as the umbrellas go up and the rain comes down and I get wet, Austin Motes takes a shot at goal for 2 points. The first two is certain, and the third is a pretty good effort. But it's a goal! A very good goal indeed. 4 minutes gone in the second half, and the score 8 points to 4. And it's all right, Alec Murphy. Now this is a chance for Vollenhoven, if he can get it. He doesn't get it. Donovan's tackled by Hattie. Vollenhoven. And Murphy's been waltzed over his own, into his own half. Most peculiar to see that. But Murphy stuck to the ball. Corellius. And Corellius has lost the ball. No, the referee has given a knock on by the knee. He actually lost the ball, I'm quite sure. It was probably unsighted. Had it, and the exchanges are as fierce as you want them to be in a cup tie, or that you don't want them to be. It's getting rip-roaring hard rugby, and the next try, I reckon, will decide this match. And Vines is running for it. Lewis Jones trying to push past Murphy. Oh, he got it passing nicely to Hattie, and away goes Hattie. And for one of the rare occasions, Leeds are in the St Helens half in possession. 8-4, just a quarter of an hour left for play. Can Leeds hold on to this lead of 4 points? It's a Herculean task. Hollis. Rosenberg. Is Rosenberg still running? He is. Rosenberg's in for a try! Well, what a sensational try by the South African winger, Rosenberg.
The final itself at Odsal was the golden grail for Leeds. Warrington were overpowered. Fairbank scored the first try. Evans got the second just before half-time. And then Hallis, with 2 in the second half, sealed Leeds' finest moment. Lewis Jones had the last word, scoring right on the final whistle. 60 years of striving. Leeds had finally arrived. The championship meant everything.